Well,
Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show, and we are at the location of the Cozy Tavern, which is where this gentleman and
Howard Scott
first
Howard
met.
E. Scott.
Harold Brown, welcome back, brother, to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Well, first off, I want to say thanks for having us, and this is a part of history.
It's a salon now, but it's
yeah.
a salon. But explain when you first met.
Well, we were kids, and right here was the Cozy Lounge. It was like a tavern right in here.
Sure.
And then little grocery stores, which they still got the liquor store across the street. Where I used
You used to bring your son down there, right?
On my shoulder.
Oh, beautiful.
So they think I was 21 and give me a beer. And right here, it was approximately about 1961, 62. Right here, where Orange and Alameda's come together, was the Cozy Lounge right here. And I went in and I was asked, they needed a drummer. So I go in, I got my drums and stuff, my old drums, which I still, got
Sure.
pictures of. And then I looked over and there was a young man playing bass. And it was Howard E. Scott. He's 2 days older than me.
Bless Howard Scott, man.
2 days, he was born over there in San Pedro, but he grew up in Compton.
Just to be clear, for the audience, Howard started on bass.
He started on bass, yeah. Howard started on bass.
And then so this was more like an R&B groove, like
Oh, it was
lounge?
an R&B groove.
Were you playing jazz tunes at all?
Oh,
or?
no, it was mostly like R&B, Bobby Blue Band, B.B. King.
Yeah.
Maybe once in a while, they mix it up, Stop the World and Let Me Off, 'Cause we had a lot of country and western and blues clubs here in Long Beach. And the blues music would usually take place on a Thursday night in a country and western club. And in the country and western Friday and Saturday. But if you're really good, you got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
As the blues, in the blues.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we started playing. So during the break, we went through, at that time, we were underage.
Yeah.
But they had a rule that if they was making, if they was selling food here, then, you're underage, you could get in and play.
Right.
So, yeah. So we were only about 16, 17 right there. So we come on in, and I'm in there, and then during the break, I took Howard out in the back. We went past, the grocery stores, past the bar, and the food was back over here, and they had a little patio right in the back, and that's when Howard and I got a chance to talk, and I found out that he was only 2 days older than me. And this is where we met. Now, Howard had a different thing about it, but we didn't meet, his...
I wouldn't doubt your memory for a minute, dude. I just wanted to ask you about the Foxy cat, the guy Foxy.
Oh, Foxy John?
John
Bennett?
He was the first one to graduate with a film degree from UCLA, but
Right.
But he had some very prescient advice for you as far as, was he a drummer?
No, he wasn't.
But what did he say
filmer.
to you? I want you to talk to the younger cats about what he goes.
Okay.
It's great for the rudiments, but you need to find.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're in the area where he lived.
He's still around?
No, if he is, he's got to be 90. I tried to locate him, but I know they had him.
But how did you know
home.
him originally?
He knew my father.
And what did he say to you about your...
And he told me, he says, Harold, to become famous, you're going to have to do something. You got to come up with a name and your own sound. It's got to be a different sound, the brand. And I remember when he took me over, he had all this old footage and stuff, and old cameras, goods and stuff. A Bow U-16. That's where I started shooting my first film, a Bow U-16. And he just said, you gotta just have to be unique. And so then after that, a few, I guess maybe months later, I told my father, I want to start a band. Clyde Rufus Brown Sr. I said, Daddy, I want to start a band. And that's when I asked him to take me up to Howard, up in Compton. He's on School Street. I don't know, I think it was 1317 School Street or 1314. And we went up there, and he pulled up in front. He was driving a 57 Plymouth Fury. We got up there, and then that's when I got with Howard. And then that's when I started, and his cousin Jack Nelson, he started, showing us different grooves. We started jamming together.
Wow. Nelson was showing you guys
Yeah,
different grooves.
yeah, because he was much older and he was a blues guitar player. I think he came out of Texas or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there. So then Howard and I and Jack was playing, and then Howard started teaching Morris B.B. Dickerson, Morris Dwayne Dickerson, a.k.a. B.B., started teaching him how to play bass, and then Howard transitioned over to guitar.
Right.
So
and you were playing with, at the Paper Doll, what was the name of the...
Oh, you talking about the Rag Doll?
Yeah, who was that cat? What was the name? You
talking about Deacon Jones, but that's years, that's,
okay, so years,
yeah,
but
later.
Dee Dee was on the scene right away.
BB.
BB was on the scene. Howard taught him to play bass.
Well, see what I loved about it, Howard's daddy, BB's daddy, Mr. Dickerson, and my daddy, they used to take us to our gigs over there in San Pedro. Over there at the Ford, I'm having a senior moment, but there was over there. We'd go over there and we'd play, and they'd sit out in the cars waiting on us. And also, I used to always wonder what they were talking about. Kind of got an idea now. But they would wait on us and take us to our gigs.
I wanted to ask you while we're here at the Cozy Tavern, but going back to Foxy, if you could describe in your own way how you found, what would you describe your sound as? I mean, your groove with BB is what made those, and Howard's guitar playing.
Exactly, our rhythm section.
It made, and Papa D.
Yeah, found him.
But that's what made it danceable. So explain in your own ego aside, what are you riffing on? Is it just a blues R&B fusion? What is it?
Well, no, the thing that we was taught, Old Man Jeffy. Old Man Jeffy's up there in South Los Angeles, up there on Avalon and El Segundo. So, up in there, Manchester. He said, we'd go in there, he says, you got to play what's on that jukebox. Play what's on that jukebox. You got to make people dance.
Right.
Because if they don't dance, they're not going to sweat. And that's why they used to put all the salt, extra salt and peanuts, make people drink more. And then we started, playing more like what was on the jukebox. And then what we would do whenever we played the main motifs, which is like ta 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 ta, or kink kaka kink king kink kaka kink kink. You play the main motif, but then when we got into the jam parts, we'd create our own music.
Dig.
And, so what happened was, what made our music unique, right here in this city, right here, you and I stand here long enough, Jake, you see every nationality walk by.
Right. It's always been that way.
Yeah, it's always been that way. When I grew up over here at 1095 East 21st Street, Bobby Montez lived across the street from me. The Fukuharas lived, around the corner from me. Michael Howie, and the closest black family to me lived about a half a block away. So by the time I would walk around here, go to the different bars, walking, I hear music going out of garages or out of bars and stuff, I was hearing everything. I wasn't just hearing black music. I was hearing Latino music.
Sure.
I'd be, and especially Sprechen Sie Deutsch, over there at First Lutheran.
Maybe a lot of ethnic music too.
I was a lot of stuff. You'd hear a lot of, Japanese music, Indian music.
What about from the motherland, the African music?
Oh yeah, well, it was right here, and especially over here, around the corner here, when I started going there at the White Rose Baptist Church.
Well, we're going to go there next,
Yeah.
but I'm just, if you, it's an interesting time, a lot of inflamed tension and emotion, but I just want you to talk to peeps. Why not? A lot of people want to give up now. People dropping out of the workforce, feeling deflated, overwhelmed. Why don't you give up?
Well, I always had a rule. I live my dream, not somebody else's dream. Follow your dreams, because even when the time gets, hard and tough, you're living your dream. So if you only make 25 cents, we used to have to in Howard, and I was laughing. Watch your back right there.
Yeah.
What up, bro? He says, what you do is, Harold, live your dream. And I found out when I live my dream, when the tough get going, and when it gets tough, I'm doing something in my life.
Right.
Howard and I was laughing when we used to play in places like when we first started playing in these, beer, little bars and cafes, they would say, "Oh, how much we making tonight? 25 cents, 50 cents." Well, back in the day, when they told you was making 50 cents, that meant $50.
Dang.
That was the terminology. 25 cents.
But let's be clear, you were always doing what you loved.
Exactly.
And you had to learn, at a certain point though, you had to learn to advocate to get paid for your art. Otherwise, everyone just you're still dealing with the court system. You're getting your pay, but even when you get knocked down, because you're doing something that is so healing and so meaningful.
And it's something, it means, and when you're being creative, because some of the greatest artists and the painters and artists in the world, I'm sure they wasn't super rich.
Right.
Because that's where, your experiences bring about, creation. You see things and you say, oh, I can talk about, it hurts my heart when I see this homeless over there.
Right.
Or I get a buzz, I get something out of me. That's why, even though marijuana is legal in California, I don't remember last time I ever smoked.
Right.
Because I find I get a good vibe out of doing something meaningful for somebody, or helping somebody, or sharing something, sharing that kindness, or that holding the door open, or that moment somebody think they're down to their last dollar and you're there to help them eat.
Marshall Lee, don't give up.
You don't give up.
We will be back with this legend, Harold Brown, in a little bit. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, we're going to keep on cruising around town.
Absolutely. I'm having a ball. Thank you so much.
Showtime!
From the Cozy Lounge, this is the Jake Feinberg Show. See you later.